This is my fifth reflection, my fifth of my first five. Um, this week we learned about a lot of different learning strategies. Some I use quite often, and some I use less than others. Um, One of the first ones I talked about in the chapter this week was presentations. I do use presentations quite a bit in class, but I don't feel like I necessarily use them to the extent that I should be using them. I use them more as just a PowerPoint to scroll through or a SmartBook slide to scroll through information. I feel like I could start doing a lot more with those. I do use them, but however, I don't feel like I do presentations quite the justice they deserve. I feel like a lot of times they hinder my instruction rather than sometimes help my instruction. Um, Another one this week that it talked about was demonstrations. I love doing demonstrations. Even today in science class, I demonstrated particle motion through the use of different temperatures of water and how um, food dyes pass through different temperatures of water faster or slower. Demonstrations are one of the main ones I use in my classroom, and I actually love using them. And the way I do them, I feel like I do take advantage of the students learning. I think they benefit huge. It's not always hands-on, but even in my demonstrations, I do try to give the students parts where they are hands-on and they are participating while I'm demonstrating. So I always take volunteers to help me as well to get the students incorporated. Um, Drill and practice. In science, I don't do it a ton. In math, I would say I use drill and practice a lot. A lot of building in that practice whenever we're learning a new concept. So I do a lot of drill and practice in the classroom. Um, Maybe not in all my subject areas, but definitely in math. Uh, Tutorial. I mean, I use them. I don't think it's one of the big ones that I use. But I do use tutorials once in a while in class as well. Discussions. Um, I try to do as many discussions as I can a day. If that's small group discussions or whole group discussions, I love to get the students' ideas. And there's even a lot of things I usually don't think of. So discussions are always a great way of looking at new things. They're definitely interesting. There are challenges to them at times too. Sometimes we do get a little sidetracked and they go off trail. But as long as I feel like I have good questions during my discussions, they usually do go pretty well. Um, the next one, cooperative learning. Lots of cooperative learning in my classroom as well. Both group and individual, where they have different jobs. They have roles that they must complete so that their team is successful. I wouldn't say I use it quite as much as the others, but I do use it quite often. The next one, problem-based learning. I think this is an awesome one. I try to put in as much as I can because I think it always is important to have those real-life examples or those real-world problems in the classroom. And I really do think it helps with 21st century learning. It's one of those things where the students really are able to put themselves in 21st century spots. The next one, I think was let's see here. Games. Oh, okay. Now, games. One of the things is I don't do them. Games and simulations. I put those together. I don't do them quite often. I feel like the reason I don't do them is that they're very time consuming for me. I'm not good at building games. I do I do try to do a couple here and there, but it's one of those things where there is a lot that goes into the games and simulations. So I haven't really perfected that. That's one thing that I do want to integrate more into my classroom. I can definitely see the benefit. I mean, kids love when I try to do them. I just need to do them more and more consistently. Um, Even in this class, I love how you're grading the game and how we're kind of like leveling up and things like that. I think it makes learning so much more fun. I'm even looking. I look forward to how many experience points I'm getting, and I feel like that's one thing in my sixth grade classroom I could definitely implement. Um, Overall, I do implement a lot of these in my classroom already, but I feel like with presentations and even games and things like that, I could do better. And I'm not doing everything the justice it should be doing. I need to improve on my teaching in those areas and using these different learning strategies or styles um, to their full potential and not just taking sometimes the shortcut. Because I think at times I'm guilty of taking that shortcut, but that's something I can work on. So that is my fifth reflection.